For demonstration purposes only. I mean, not bad for not even bolted together to anything. Do not do what I'm doing, ever.
Welcome to
I'm nuts,
Shop.
dude. The fact that I haven't seriously injured myself up to this point is absolutely amazing. So, I don't know. I don't think I've ever really mentioned anything about this little conceptual situation. While I was working on the sheet metal for the Mr. Hancock, the A-pillar video, I set this bandsaw up and kind of have clamped it into a situation where it's standing. But I need to make a stand for this bandsaw. Stand for the bandsaw. But in the process, I thought I'd also kind of just point out my little, definitely not perfect, but portable workstation. Still, obviously, it's kind of a conceptual situation. So the cord is actually what was holding that up. Note to self. Interesting. But this has evolved over just being a wire roll, wire wheel, wire... What is that called? A wire wheel. I think it is a wire wheel. It's just a different kind of wire wheel. Not a wheel with wires, but a wheel for wire. Wood reel. Wood reel. I actually worked for a company for, about 48 hours that made the larger version of these. It was pretty miserable, and I decided I needed to make better decisions with my life. Anyhow, that's neither here nor there. The concept is that this kind of workstation could be a portable bench slash, again, work surface is the term that I'm looking for. The vise has ended up sort of in the middle because anywhere else it counterweights the entire thing and it wants to flop over. Right now it's just on a tool dolly, but I could put casters all the way around. It's, again, something that's evolving because it existed in my inventory, and it's really easy to tuck away. So I can put any of these benchtop tools I have up there on the shelf. I don't know if you can see the shelf, but and the work surface itself, you can sort of see the shelf. So it could all be really stored up there. And then the space could be utilized with a series of holes with locking pins, for instance, where most of these tools have holes in the base for them. And it could be put in and at least 2 pins put into place just for stability's sake. But I mean, realistically, I don't think there's anything holding this down. Just the weight of the device itself. And again, the vise in the middle kind of centering some weight. Storage for, lubricant, stuff like that. This is my little bottle. Could put some holes in it, but for quenching when you're grinding and stuff like that is clearly the term of this video. Apparently, stuff like that. But anyway, leave your ideas in the comments. And if you got anything similar to this, let me know. The portability is the main thing. Of course, I can build a stable table. I can build a permanent place for any of this, but one of the things that I would like my shop to be is kind of movable. So if I'm working in a certain area and I want to be able to utilize this space with, say, the grinder, the other day when I was welding, the bandsaw, and the vise, I can have that over there wherever I'm working in the shop. So, anyhow, I'm going to kind of play with the idea of building this bandsaw a stand, and in a minute I'll probably walk you over and show you another one of my homemade tools that I like. That again, it was just made out of sort of necessity and as cheaply as possible. So there's another good one. Again, I'm on a budget, people, so I come up with this as the portable hose reel. I'm pretty sure it's the cheapest way I could possibly do it, other than making the reel part myself, but that wouldn't really save any money because then you'd have a bunch of time into it. But basically, it's just a Harbor Freight manual hose reel mounted on a, what is it, a 2x12 base plate instead of mounting it to a wall. And instead of hard lining it to the compressor, I'll put a quick connect on it. Then if I need to take it away, put it back under here. You get the idea. I don't know why I'm working off the floor. Actually, I do know why I'm working off the floor. Because all of my flat surfaces are covered in stuff. Because that's what happens when you have flat surfaces. They get covered in stuff. We may end up coming up with some sort of a table. But for now, and for the theory process of this situation, I was going to say process of the process, but it didn't seem like it sounded right. Let's sharpen a fresh pencil just for the sake of, while we're doing favorite tools or whatever. Ta-da! Yay! I never did look up the model number. I think it's I want to say it's a 100. Boston Champion? Might be a Champion. Maybe it says Champion on it. Maybe I'm making that up. Maybe you weren't even in frame. Yeah, you were. Anywho. So, one of the sounds at the beginning of a recent video was all of my levels and squares falling off the shelf over there. And now you know the secret inside story at Smoke Shop. So, totally flying from the hip. My theory is, I don't know why I'm yelling again. My theory is that the saw basically, I mean, it's not going to stand on its own, but there is definitely a center upright position that's kind of natural in the mold. So we're going to run with that. It looks like it may be tilted back slightly, but I can deal with figuring all that out in a little while. Because we're not cutting any finished lines yet. We're just cutting a general area of where we want to work from. Now we know that there's going to be a table sitting on top of this. So we're going to say I could safely cut there and have material to work with. Alright. Is that what our plan was? I don't remember. It was either that or the other way. I would say it was the other way. Yeah. But realistically, that would be all I would really need, with a piece of metal going across there. That should be a situation that could be slid into place, screwed into place there, and be stabilized. I have these basically failed drawer parts. They're not failed, but they didn't work. And could easily be turned into a box. That, coincidentally, was the previous idea, and would be basically the same thing, except the cross piece would be, so there's our cross piece. I know you can't see it, but if our little plate was down there like we said before, then basically we're just setting it on there to stabilize again this way and sliding it into place and then dropping our 2 screws down. And we could do that top out of plywood. I've got some nice oak, a piece of nice oak. I think I even brought it over here, yeah. That should be relatively flat and square and all that. So I could really just zip this together with a couple plates or brackets or whatever to bond these 2 pieces back together. Not back together, but bond them together. I think we're going to go with that. I think that's going to be our quick and easy 1, 2, 3 bandsaw stand in 3, 2, 1. Tack, 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 tack. Bra, bra, bra. Shing, shing, shing. Boosh. It'll be just like that. Hey! Anyhow, in a demonstration of why things are on wheels at Schmoke Shop, we need to get the table saw. Transformers. Oh, more than meets the eye. I wonder if I can say that without getting a copyright ting. Not that it really matters because I'm not monetized, but. Well, I was trying to keep everything tight, but we gotta get the stuff out of the way and not sit here all day running around acting like we play Tetris. Man, I wish I could remember the song right off the top of my head, but anybody else remember the Tetris song? Anyhow, table saw, not on wheels, so loud noises. Hey! Oh, yes. Activating table saw in 3, 2, 1. That is a plywood wood storage cart that's on wheels. That's a project that I built from plans that I actually paid for. I mean, I'm sure I could have found something without paying for it, but it was the most clear. It wasn't that expensive. I don't remember what I paid for it. But theoretically, that allows me to move all that wood. And store it in a relatively minimalist fashion. Let's get this party started, dude. Yo, dude. Let's get this party started, y'all. Oh, man. Excuse me. Coffee burps. Tasty coffee burps. Watch your eyes, kids. I'm your mama, I'm your daddy. little pusher whale. Pusher whale. Yeah. He's a pusher whale. He's even got a little eyeball. Pusher whale. One more reminder that I'm not crazy. Alright, let's go turn the air off. Anyhow. Hello. What we have here is, what you got? 1/4 inch at the most, at the minimal. 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch, I don't know. That's about 1/4 inch. Oh, I'm supposed to look at it? Oh, should I get a tape measure? My bad. Maybe it's a 1/2 inch. It's probably more like a 5/8. Yeah, 7/16. So, what we're going to try and accomplish is getting some sort of squareness. Some sort of squareness going on here. We are good there. That is good. Yay. I know we are not good there, but which way is my saw set up? That way. So, the other thing we have to do is do our width. If we're going to put another layer, I have a better idea. Don't mind me, I'm just discussing this with the rest of the carpentry crew. Man, I got tape measures out, and this project was never supposed to be like this. 13 5/8, is that what I said? That is what you said, man. Absolutely what you said. Let's see, how are we looking there? Hey, we are square. That's good. Because having a square or 2 square edges to go off of makes it a lot easier to keep everything square. Are we square? I don't know, man. I think you still owe me $20. What? Since that's square, I could cut it on the radial arm saw. Either way, we'll be right back. You don't need to see me cutting on power tools. So, I'm just kidding, guys. Of course I'm going to let you watch me. I'm just not going to set up the camera to watch the blade cutting through the... you want to see that, don't you? Yeah, it's not going to happen. I might do it on this cut. As we get monetized, subscribe. All right, that would be ridiculous. That's not the square edge. Whew. We're going to put our square edge up against the fence. That was not a precise measurement, but I am going to go on the outside of my mark, merely because I'd like to have a little bit of space, a little bit of wiggle room to dial this thing in. I also do actually want to mark my square edges. Very dangerous tool. Note to self, put a disclaimer at the beginning of your video, schmoke. Do not do what I'm doing, ever. I'm nuts, dude. The fact that I haven't seriously injured myself up to this point is absolutely amazing. Knock on wood. Let's cut things. Loud noises. And I actually should have had my hand on that until that blade stopped, just for the safety police. This is a radial arm saw, kids. This is not a miter saw or a sliding compound miter saw or any type of that. However, it can do everything that that saw can do and more. It can rip, it can crosscut, it can dado, it can hook. Yeah, it's amazing. One of these days, we will actually set this tool up correctly. And I have a lot of the components to do. I mean, to make like bookshelves and stuff like that, we can do that very easily set up with this. Once everything's all squared up, it's... Anyhow, again, one of Dad's old tools that he bought late 70s, early 80s probably. Very dangerous, but it's also very capable. It's definitely not perfect, but it's within a 16th, I'd say. Anyhow, this is what I built the house using. So, at this point, what we're trying to do is get back to the subject matter at hand, which is building our little box to put our little bandsaw in. We're getting the band together. Way down upon the Swanee River. That's the Florida State song. It's also one of my favorite places to be. I mean Florida, but the Swanee River specifically. I believe what we're going to do is make us a line right there. Then we're going to see about continuing that line over here. We are doing this completely from the hip, as Puddin would say. The plan is non-existent, and we're creating it as we go. So, if the wheels are turning, then things are happening. You know what I'm saying? So, our other dealio is we need to attach everybody together. I'm going to do some calculations and stuff, and we'll be right back. Again, we're doing just fine here, okay, kids? We're just going to raise up the blade. I don't even have any idea what blade is on here. Looks pretty sharp, actually. I know at some point I replaced it. You know, speaking of things that could probably use some maintenance. A friend gave it to me, this table saw. We'll just put you over here for a minute. What exactly is it that I'm doing? Okay, that's an important part to pay attention to. I am not going to put my hand here and run it through the blade. That would not be very smart. Quick double check to make sure that there aren't any more. And then we're back to cutting process. Take 14. We shouldn't need the push-a-whale. Three, two, one. Eight and 3/8. That would be 4 and 3/16. Right. Yay, 4 and 3/16. I'm smart. Now, one of the reasons I got this saw for free is because you have to be very mindful of locking the fence in to get anything close to a straight cut. Strangely enough, it's 4 3/8. The reason that I recognize that number is because that's our measurement. Pusher whale, you may come into play here. Okay, I'm here for you, buddy. I think that's whale sounds. Swing! And now, the reveal. Whoa! That looked kind of cool, huh?
Yeah, I like it. It's very stylish.
Brilliant, brilliant, I tell you. Yeah, right, man. Yeah. Beautiful day appreciation time. Hey, it's pineapple. Okay, kids. We're back in action. I'm not sure why we dropped out of action, but we're back. The number is still 4 3/16. Almost as if we knew what we were doing. Alright, I was actually able to scrounge up 8 1.5 screws with the goal of all I'm trying to do at this point is center all this up. Okay. Just for the sake of argument, we are clamped in place. Basically what I'm doing is I'm taking 2 parts of drawers that ended up basically mismeasured for the kitchen cabinets. So this was trash. And what I'm doing is I'm utilizing it and turning it into a box to mount my portable bandsaw in. And as expected, it's far from perfect. But I really had no intention of making it perfect. So instead of burning or throwing this out, if I can utilize it, I would rather utilize it. And believe me, I have plenty of wood to burn. I don't know, as I'm sitting here telling you how it doesn't have to be perfect, I'm over here striving for perfection. Because at Smoke Shop, we strive for perfection. Rarely. right into my finger. Just kidding. So what we have now is something more of a box. Bloop. I like it. It's far from perfect, like I said, but it'll work. And then we put this on there. And then it's a masterpiece. It's so cute, guys. I like it a lot. I'm not even going to trim it down. I like it just the way it is. We want to kind of center that up, right? To get as much of a work surface as possible. Yeah. So we're going to cut a line, again, through the center of that. Once again, we're making this up as we go. Centered and 4 3/4 in. All right. Yes. Nailed it. That's it. Yes, that is our center line. And we're back. Utilizing modern technology, we have achieved our goals. I have no idea what I'm even talking about. Ding! What are we doing? 4 3/4 in. The glasses. Introducing the glasses. Diablo. Diablo. Ultimately, you want as much light as possible. Conveniently, that's good for you guys too. That's not a perfectly straight line, but it's a lot less wide than it would have been if I had used any other saw. For demonstration's sake, we're just going to do that. Oh, that's going to be so cool. I'm pretty awesome. Just in case y'all didn't know, I am pretty awesome. Awesome. He is awesome. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. He's pretty awesome. I mean, theoretically, that is square. And level everything out. This is leveling everything out. Let's do it from this side. I'm leveling everything out. One more reminder, real quick, that I'm not crazy. Bloop. Just going for it. I've got my layout marks here. I know what I'm trying to do. The position of these two holes is going to position the blade on this table, and if they are in the correct place and they're nice and tight, it will hold everything in place the way I want it to. So I'd like to not screw this up. However, I'm not going to edit through an hour and a half of footage to try and find the 10 minutes of brilliance. So, cut. Where I am right now with this is I need to get something to eat. I'm probably going to have to take a trip to the hardware store. And, again, a lot of this little detail, piddly stuff doesn't need to be filmed. Again, I basically have the layout figured out. I have the layout figured out. I have the hardware that I'm going to need to acquire. And I'll probably take one more check through mine. to dial this in and make it happen. When I get to any new information, like what I've decided to do for actually mounting the saw, I'll film some more. But for right now, you're a distraction, like I said earlier, and then turned you back on. I like to turn you on, don't get me wrong. But right now, I'm busy. So one thing I have realized and wanted to point out is that there's no way to use a long screwdriver if you choose to do this. And so what I have discovered is I had to get my stubby screwdriver. Not a big deal, but just pointing it out. All right, so we are fastened to the saw. That was a fun little chase, but we got it. The crookedness you see there is, I think I mentioned putting feet underneath it. Should be able to alleviate that. That's a nice flat work surface for my metal cutting bandsaw. Now, of course, in reality, right now I've just kind of got it balanced in there and shimmed up. But once I get those feet, I should be able to get it dialed in to where, again, I may put some sort of a base plate down here and attach it somehow. Right now, the trigger is just held on with Velcro, just like it was when I had it set up on the bench. So if I plug that in, it's, well, I think I loosened it up, but yeah, I just have to crank that down and that'll turn it on. And I believe, yeah, there's a speed controller right here. So once it's on, I can slow it down or speed it up, just like that. It may evolve before it becomes a completely finished product, but for something we just threw together, I didn't time it as far as how much we've actually got into it, but again, just directly coming up with the idea and putting it together, putting it into play. I'm pretty satisfied with that for right now. I think that's going to wrap it up for at least this session. I got to go to a hardware store and get some either different feet or the inserts to hold these feet. Oh, excuse me. It's getting late in the afternoon and I'm kind of tired. So, we'll talk soon. Bye-bye. For demonstration purposes only. I mean, not bad for not even bolted together to anything. Works for me. So, I'm pretty impressed with myself once again. Hey guys. Start off with an Anyway, when I wrapped up filming yesterday, and I've been editing all day. And it's kind of wintry and blustery outside, and I have no desire to go out there. So I believe this is going to be our outro. Sorry for the location change. The bandsaw table, I believe, is going to be a useful tool I hope you enjoyed some of the other little cameo shots or whatever I put in there of some of my other little handy tools. The analytically, I believe we are sitting at, I can check, I guess, since I'm sitting in front of the computer. The current subscriber count is at 252 for those that are interested. I actually had a couple different subject matters planned. One of them is getting that the Manco Ride Master running correctly. As it turns out, I went ahead and ordered a carburetor rebuild kit. There's also, of course, the Amazon carburetor option, but I'm pretty sure a rebuild kit will get us going. The other content I'm going to be working on is getting into the camper, because music festival season is coming up and I've got it running and moving again. I want to go through that thing and get it to where I could enjoy it. I'm going to take you along for the ride, whether you like it or not. Anyhow, I hope you enjoyed the video. It may not be the most fascinating of content, but I thought I would share it because it's something I was going to be doing anyway. Anywho, if you enjoyed the video, please give it a like, share it with your friends, and one of the greatest things for a growing YouTube channel, don't forget, subscribe. That's going to wrap it up for this one. We'll definitely see you next Wednesday. Who knows what could happen before then. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye. Okay. All right. Apparently